Years ago, imagine telling someone that one day people would pay money to run in place, indoors, going nowhere. They wouldn't laugh. They'd be confused. Because for almost all of human history, nobody exercised. No gyms, no workout plans, no fitness apps, no step counters. And yet, when scientists study ancient skeletons, they keep finding the same strange thing. Stronger bones, leaner bodies, and joints in better shape than most adults have today. So what did they know that we don't? Was it genetics? Better luck? Different bodies entirely? Or is the answer something about how they lived? Something modern life quietly took away without anyone noticing?
Picture an ordinary person, thousands of years ago on an ordinary day. The sun comes up. That's it. No alarm for a workout, no fitness goal, no smartwatch buzzing on their wrist. But movement starts almost the second their eyes open. Not because they want to stay healthy, because if they don't move, they don't eat. Water needs fetching. Food is running low. A tool just broke and needs fixing. Every single task demands the body and there's no way around it. Here's the part most people miss. Movement wasn't separate from life back then. It was life. A morning might mean walking for miles across uneven ground, scanning for anything edible. Along the way, squatting to check a route, bending to grab berries, hauling themselves over a fallen tree blocking the path. Nothing done for fitness. Every single motion has a reason. And that's where it gets interesting. Today, exercise happens in a box. A gym, a mat, a set of reps you count and repeat. Same motion, over and over. Ancient movement didn't work like that at all. The environment was the workout. A steep hill hammered the legs. A fallen log demanded balance or you'd fall. Carrying food back to camp built the shoulders and back. Wading across a stream tested coordination in a way no machine ever could. No 2 days looked the same, so the body never got to coast. It kept adapting, over and over, to whatever the terrain threw at it. Without a single training plan, ancient humans were quietly building strength, endurance, balance, and coordination, all at once, all day, without ever calling it a workout. Researchers who study hunter-gatherer groups today see the exact same pattern. The secret isn't hours of brutal effort. It's something much quieter, near constant, moderate movement. That distinction matters more than it sounds. Most people picture ancient life as one long chase scene, running from predators, fighting, sprinting after prey. The reality was far less dramatic and honestly more interesting. Most of the day was just walking, carrying, gathering, repairing, exploring, ordinary tasks, done over and over. But stack those ordinary tasks across an entire day and you get something almost no modern lifestyle has, movement that never really stops. The body wasn't switched on for 1 hour and off for the next 10. It stayed engaged hour after hour, year after year. And that adds up. Bones adapted, muscles adapted, the heart and lungs adapted, even posture and balance adapted. Quietly, invisibly, over a lifetime. The human body became exactly what its environment demanded of it. Which raises an uncomfortable question. If ancient humans got fit just by living, why do we need to set aside an hour, block off time, and force ourselves into a gym? The answer hides in a distinction almost nobody thinks about. Because exercise and physical activity sound like the same thing. They are not. And once you see the difference, you can't unsee it.
For thousands of generations, the human body got the same message every single day. Move. Not for 30 minutes, not for an hour, all day long. That one repeated signal is what shaped us. Then, almost overnight in evolutionary terms, everything changed. The world moved faster than our biology ever could. Ancient humans didn't have some secret fitness formula. No superior genes, no hidden muscle advantage. Strip away the environment, and their bodies were remarkably close to ours. The difference was never inside them. It was around them. For most of human history, movement was simply unavoidable. Getting food meant moving. Finding water meant moving. Building shelter meant moving. Even resting looked different. Squatting, kneeling, sitting on open ground, constantly shifting. The environment pushed activity on you whether you wanted it or not. Modern life does the exact opposite. Count how many physical tasks have quietly vanished from your day. Need food? Order it from your couch. Need water? Turn a tap. Need to talk to someone? send a text, need entertainment. Press play and don't move again for 2 hours. Every invention made life easier, and that ease is exactly the problem. We built a world almost perfectly engineered to remove movement from it. Comfortable? Absolutely. But biologically, it's a mess because the body is always listening for how much it's actually being used. Muscle is expensive to maintain, so is bone density, so is a strong heart and lungs. If the body senses those things aren't needed anymore, it starts quietly stripping them away. Not because anything is broken, because that's literally what survival looks like from the inside. Think of it like carrying a heavy backpack every day for years. Your body adapts. It gets stronger to handle the load. Now imagine you put that backpack down forever. Slowly, without you noticing, those adaptations start disappearing too. The body never stops adjusting to match its environment. Ancient environments demanded strength. Ours mostly doesn't ask for it anymore. That gap is exactly why exercise had to be invented. In a way, exercise is a brilliant workaround for a problem our ancestors never faced. A run tells the heart and lungs, you're still needed. Strength training tells your muscles and bones the same thing. Walking keeps the whole system from forgetting what it's for. Those signals genuinely work. But here's the catch. Almost nobody says out loud, exercise is trying to squeeze an entire active lifestyle into a single small window of time. That's an enormous ask. Picture watering a plant for 1 hour a week after cutting off its sunlight for the other 167 hours. The watering helps. It's just never going to be enough on its own. Movement works the same way. A workout helps your health. It cannot fully recreate the constant activity that built the human body in the first place, which is exactly why researchers keep finding the same pattern. People who stay active throughout the day, not just during a scheduled workout, often get benefits that exercise alone never quite delivers. The body seems to thrive when movement is woven into life, not bolted onto the side of it. And that raises a question that goes back even further than adulthood. If grown bodies were shaped by a world built around movement, what happened before that? What happened when these people were still children? Because some of the biggest advantages may have started long before anyone ever became an adult. Long before ancient humans became strong adults, they were active kids. And that might be one of the biggest advantages nobody talks about. Picture growing up with no TV, no phone, no console, no car waiting in the driveway. What would you actually do all day? For nearly every child in human history, the answer was simple. Move. They ran, climbed, balanced along logs with arms out for balance, jumped off things they probably shouldn't have, carried things too heavy for them just to prove they could. Nobody told them to. Nobody was training them for a sport. They did it because it felt good, because curiosity kept pulling them further outside, and every day was one more chance to test what their bodies could do. They didn't know it, but they were quietly laying the foundation for the rest of their lives. Here's why that matters biologically. Childhood is one of the most important windows for physical development the human body ever gets. During those years, bone responds strongly to activity, muscles wire up coordination, joints build their full range of motion, the nervous system gets sharper at controlling movement. The body is paying very close attention. Every climb, every jump, every fall, and every time they got back up. All of it was quietly shaping the adult they'd eventually become. Think of childhood as a construction phase. The body is scanning its environment and effectively asking, what will I need later? If movement is everywhere, it invests heavily in strength, balance, coordination, resilience. If movement is rare, it invests less, because why build for a world that doesn't demand it? Ancient kids were sending that signal constantly because the environment forced it on them. An afternoon might mean chasing friends across rough ground, climbing a tree just to see further, hauling firewood, helping with small daily chores. To them it was just play. To their bodies it was training, the kind no coach could design better. Balance sharpened on fallen logs, grip strength built itself through climbing. Coordination came from games and pure exploration. Endurance built quietly across hours of movement spread through the whole day. Now compare that to a lot of modern childhoods. Sitting at school, sitting in the car, sitting at home, sitting in front of a screen. Technology gave kids incredible tools for learning and entertainment. It also quietly erased a huge chunk of the spontaneous movement that used to just happen. Some researchers are genuinely worried about what that trade-off costs later. Not immediately, these effects take years to surface, but a less active childhood can shape strength, coordination, posture, and mobility for decades afterward. Still, movement wasn't the only advantage ancient humans had. There was a second factor working quietly in the background the entire time, one that improved recovery, sharpened the brain, and let the body actually cash in on everything all that movement built. And it's something a huge number of modern people give up without even realizing what it's costing them. That missing factor was recovery. Ancient humans didn't just move differently than we do, they rested differently too, and that difference mattered just as much as the movement itself. Here's something most people get backwards. Fitness isn't really built during activity. It's built afterward in the recovery. You challenge the body, it registers the demand, and then, if you let it, it repairs, strengthens, adapts. Ancient life happened to be built around that exact rhythm. Most of the day's movement was moderate, not maximal, walking, carrying, gathering, climbing, steady demands, not constant, all-out effort. That balance mattered more than people realize. Unlike a lot of modern routines, sit for 10 hours, then crush a single intense workout, ancient life had movement and recovery in a much more natural rhythm. And sleep did most of the heavy lifting. No artificial light, no screens glowing at midnight, no doom scrolling at 1 a.m. Ancient humans lived far closer to the natural rhythm of daylight and darkness than almost anyone alive today. As the light faded, the body got a clear, unmistakable signal. It's time to shut down and repair. And during sleep, the real work happened. Muscles repaired themselves, bone remodeled and strengthened, recovery hormones were released, energy stores were rebuilt. Sleep was the invisible partner doing half the work that movement got credit for. But recovery wasn't the only hidden advantage. Movement changed the brain too. We now know physical activity triggers chemicals tied to memory, focus, and learning. So when ancient humans spent their days navigating complex terrain, they weren't only training their bodies, they were training their minds at the same time. Finding food demanded attention, tracking animals demanded observation, reading the landscape demanded memory. Movement and thinking weren't separate activities, they were the same activity. Then there's posture, something almost nobody thinks about until it starts hurting. Most modern people sit in nearly the same position for hours at a stretch. Ancient humans almost never did. They squatted, knelt, sat on open ground, stood, walked, constantly shifted. That variety kept joints moving through their full range and kept muscles engaged in different ways all day, instead of locking into one shape for hours at a time. None of these things sound dramatic on their own. A little more movement, slightly better sleep, more varied positions, more time outside, but stack them together day after day, year after year, and you get a lifestyle that was continuously, quietly supporting the human body without a single gym membership. And that's the full picture finally coming together. Ancient humans didn't stay fit because they found the perfect workout. They stayed fit because almost everything around them, their environment, their food, their sleep, their childhood, kept demanding exactly what their bodies had evolved to expect. The modern world removed nearly all of that. Exercise exists because movement is no longer guaranteed by default. We have to choose it on purpose every single day. This isn't an argument for abandoning modern life and running back to the Stone Age. It's something quieter than that. Understanding why your body responds the way it does, why sitting all day feels exhausting in a way it shouldn't, why a single workout never feels like enough. And once you see that connection, the question you started with finally has a real answer. Ancient humans didn't need exercise because movement was never separate from life. It was life. Walking, carrying, climbing, exploring, working. These weren't tasks on top of existence. They were existence, and they gave the body exactly what it evolved to expect. We need exercise because we built a world that quietly took that away. Every rep, every run, every walk you choose to take, that's not a modern obsession. That's you giving your body back something it's been asking for since before we were even human.